friends, here we are again.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy holidays to everybody out there in college football and in Vol Nation.
Absolutely. This second day of Hanukkah, third day.
Third day.
Third day.
Yep.
Third day.
Once again, I am the Super Genius Wiley, coming to you from 1998 Championship Drive here in Knoxville, Tennessee, along with my faithful sidekick and hetero life mate. Introduce yourself to the people, my boo.
I'm young Brandon here in, as my friend calls it, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And let's talk a little football. Specifically, a little Vols football.
This is the big week. This is the big week for me. Historically, I've said this before. The Vanderbilt-Tennessee rivalry is big in my family. My sister, my mother, my paternal grandmother, and paternal great aunt all either went to Vanderbilt University or Peabody Teachers College, which is now the Peabody School of Education in Vanderbilt. So it was always somewhat of a house divided with me at this time of the year. The first UT game that I went to as a young lad was the 80, either 81 or 83. It was in Knoxville. It was a 34-24 Tennessee victory. I do remember that. And so I've been one of God's most pathetic creatures ever since. Tennessee Vols fan.
There you go. Before we get into that game, let's talk about a little recap of the last game we played, which was against the Florida Gators. And our friend Ethan, who didn't get to join us, I'll refer to him now as simply Florida Man.
The Gator Baiter.
I thought we did pretty well against Florida.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't turn the ball over, which was a definite improvement. Eric Gray had his usual relatively solid game. I mean, we did give up 5. Harrison Bailey did get sacked 5 times, so that was a little disappointing. We covered the spread, which was nice. I mean, we did score in garbage time right at the end to get the 12-point deficit. Unfortunately, Samaglia missed those 2 kicks, including that extra point. We'll get to him. We'll get to more on him later on in the show. But I think all in all, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. They were just better than us in basically every phase of the game.
Yeah.
Kind of gets the gag reflex.
Our defense stood up to him though, and I was glad to see that. We weren't the sorry Georgia people. We weren't the dogs that everyone thought we were going to be. And I like that.
And I think that we, there are so many things that we did well that are finally coming around.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're a day late and a dollar short on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I honestly, for me, when the schedule came out, playing Florida this late in the season was like, hell yes.
I've always hated playing in the third.
Yeah. No, Georgia and Florida both. I mean, they're back to back.
Yeah.
And that's always been the gauntlet. I mean, you've got Georgia and Florida, and then
Bama's right around the corner.
You got the bye week, and then you got Bama.
Yeah.
So that's always been, the teeth of the schedule. And what's historically happened in the past is we've looked really, really shaky at the beginning of the season going into those games. I mean, I can remember all kinds of times where we played the first game and didn't look that great. My dad and my father said Florida's going to beat the dog shit out of us.
Yeah.
And we managed, and, it's been 60-40 against, but typically we've shown up.
Yeah, it's always been. Well, I hope we work the kinks out by week 3.
Yeah,
and
it usually. I mean, even with Peyton, it usually took at least 2 games for him to get warmed up. And then
we needed those warm-up games for sure.
Ball. So it just never came together this season. This season's been completely an aberration, and this is not just sour grapes, guys. I mean, come on, it's been that. I mean, for Michigan, for Penn State, for teams that are typically powers, this season has been a nightmare.
I feel terrible for those Michigan fans.
I mean, I'll be surprised if Harbaugh has not been or his agent had not been on the phone with the Ford family on a daily basis about that Detroit Lions job. And they're just waiting. They're just waiting to what happens after the Ohio State game.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point anyway. They're going to get their ass.
The full Lane Kiffin treatment.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a little short of that. But
well, at least Harbaugh's been there for more than one season.
Yeah. Yeah. At least. He didn't go crying back to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is
counting the money, counting his multi-million dollars along the way. Yeah.
I think that's his best move personally, is to go back to the NFL. Who knows? Maybe the 2 brothers can coach for the same team.
I don't see that happening, but
yeah,
I've heard stranger things.
There's not enough ego
to go around there.
Get through that door. So yeah, I liked where we ended up. We didn't win, of course, but we covered.
Yeah, we covered. And I would like to hope in a perfect world that Vols fans would see the light at the end of the tunnel, provided we can get a handle on this pandemic and we can have full spring practices, and we can have full training during the summer, and we can get through everything without having colossal injuries that keep people out. And we have people come back. I mean, I personally, is Brandon Kennedy going to come back for a 7th year? I mean, he didn't play last year. Cooper Mays. Yeah. Cooper Mays started at center, which is, I mean, he's the future of that position.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooper played the first half. Jerome Calvin played the second half.
I like both those Mays guys on the field together.
Yeah. So
I'm doing my best not to sound like an old man and call them boys. I like those Mays boys though. Those young they definitely have a mean streak. There's no doubt about that. They've got the personality to play offensive line. They want to go out and murderalize somebody. So hey, nothing wrong with it.
That definitely helps. Their old man certainly had one, and if rumors and speculation to be believed, it still has one. But if not for a really freak knee injury, while he was training for a shot at the NFL, Kevin Mays would have been in the NFL for a long time. I mean, it was just a freak accident. Ended up injuring his knee and ended up with nerve damage in his knee and was never able to play again.
Yeah. If you ever hurt your knee, anybody out there in Vols Nation, you just imagine.
Yep.
So that is lead me around to Mr. Bailey, Mr. Harrison Bailey. James Bond. What did you think about him?
I think he was good. I think he was steady. He didn't make any mistakes. He got beat up, but he seemed to take it pretty well. I think. I mean, when we get to the spring, I think that the job is going to be. I think that it's going to be between him and Shrout for the starting job next year, depending. I kind of hate to say it, but Brian Maurer looks like he's going to be the odd man out, and I would not be surprised to see him into the transfer portal. I hope he doesn't. I like him. He seems to be a really.
I'm telling you though, and I think we should do it.
We're just gonna,
Mackenzie
we're just gonna have to
Milton.
see. We're just gonna have to see. I hope Jimmy Holiday. hangs out.
In the transfer. Let's see if we get him on. I like what I've seen from Mr. Bailey so far.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Stats aren't, blow you out of the water or anything, but
well, this will be his first road test. Not that playing at Vandy is intimidating. That's I mean,
what it is. Vanderbilt has always been.
Yeah. The only stadium in the conference I dislike more than Vandy is Williams-Brice. But I mean, Vanderbilt Stadium is barely a Division II stadium, for God's sake. That thing is it hasn't been updated in ever, as far as I know, not in my lifetime anyway.
Yeah, it's
they still have honest to God bleachers in one of the end zones.
Yeah.
Not closed in. So I mean,
glorified high school football.
It's not exactly like it's intimidating. I mean, for any kind of intimidation as far as athletics on Vanderbilt, you have to get a Memorial Auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that place is insane. You know why coaches hate playing at Memorial Auditorium?
Go ahead.
The sideline, the benches are underneath the baskets on opposite ends of the court.
Good grief.
Visiting coaches hate it because they can't if their guys are on the other end of the court.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little hard to call out.
So this is our opposing quarterback, Mr. Ken Seals.
The freshman, we'll say phenom. He's not done badly. He's had a couple of good games. He played well against.
We'll look at his stats as well.
Yeah,
and
he played well against Ole Miss and Kentucky, albeit a diminished Kentucky team at the time. It was the week that their O-line coach passed. I mean, you can see his completion to intercept. He's done a few picks, but I mean you've got a relatively talented quarterback and playing with guys who playing with a team that struggles. So you're going to see that kind of guy take chances. I mean, Jay Cutler, when he was with Vanderbilt, his stat lines were really similar. He completed a lot of passes, but he also he had a high rate of interceptions because he felt the necessity and the pressure to make a play, and that is going to happen. It's the risk you're going to take in that situation. So yeah. I mean, I think we've got to get a pass rush. I think we're going to see some. I think we're going to see some Ty Barron this week. I think we're going to see some Roman Harrison this week. I hope Solomon plays. He got a little banged up against Florida. I hope they started. I hope they underfed the D linemen this week, so they're good. So they're starving out. I don't want hungry. I want starving.
Right.
And maybe we can get some Bryce Thompson moving on some blitzes out there. He's a really good pass rusher when given the right circumstances. And I think nobody has effectively been able to run the ball on us.
Yeah,
The D line, I got to give JP credit. The D line has looked really, really good. People have been on his ass about firing Jimmy Brumbaugh under those circumstances, but they've actually played really, really well. I mean, second half against Arkansas, my God, Arkansas couldn't move the ball in that fourth quarter. We just couldn't score.
They played their heart out.
Oh yeah, I mean they look like an SEC championship quality defense in parts of that second half.
What's really weighing on my mind, and I don't want to overlook Vanderbilt, because when you have 2 wins and you're facing a team with 0 wins,
you overlook them at your peril. I mean,
yeah, it's a dangerous situation. However, there's been news recently that to qualify to play in a bowl game this year, apparently all you have to do is show up. That's it.
Well, I mean, you've got bowl games have been canceled. Pinstripe Bowl is canceled. New York's not going to allow it. The Rose Bowl is talking about moving out of California for the first time in 70, 80 years, because Orange County, Anaheim is not going to let them play.
Like the Niners having to
play home games somewhere else. So you're going to see some really interesting matchups. I mean, they're talking about maybe Tennessee going to the Belk Bowl, going to the Liberty Bowl. Which, I mean, Tennessee bowl game under normal circumstances, I'm a big hell yeah. I just don't know. What good?
It's always a money grab.
Yeah.
Clearly, you got a 2-win team, and they're like, yeah.
What good is it?
It was announced that the staff would not collect any bonuses.
No.
If they go anything like that.
The contracts, inherent probably in those contracts is if you make a bowl game, you first have to be bowl eligible under normal circumstances.
Right.
Now, granted, these aren't, there's nothing normal about this year, but.
Yeah, this is Bizarro year.
Yes.
Don't forget that, folks.
Yeah.
The Bizarro year.
But I think it's a really double-edged sword. Would I like to see them go in a ball game? Yes. I just.
It'll be something.
I honestly don't know. It
will be something. I like the idea of them playing West Virginia.
Get a little revenge on that.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But overall in ball games, you're going to see some really interesting matchups. Coastal Carolina.
Absolutely.
Coastal Carolina in the Sugar Bowl. And I'm not saying actually the Sugar Bowl, but a bowl.
They are the new Boise State.
Coastal Carolina Bowl. Coastal Carolina Orange Bowl.
Weekend.
I think I'm really intrigued by as long as Cincinnati holds serve and finishes out the way I'd love to see a Cincinnati Coastal Carolina bowl matchup.
That wouldn't be bad at all.
You could see that. You could see, Buffalo is going to end up somewhere. So there are a lot of teams that are out there who are going to benefit by teams opting out. Pitt and BC have both said we're not going.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some kind of bowl season. In what shape, form, or fashion, we don't know yet, but it's going to happen.
Oh, and also the Ohio State situation. If anybody doesn't know about that, you just hate him even more now.
Half of me understands. Okay. Understands why the Big Ten did what they did. The other half of me says it's a really puss move.
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
And Indiana has been really classy about it.
Yeah.
They really have. And if not for the fact that Indiana could not run the ball, there's no way. If Indiana had any kind of running game against Ohio State, they win that game.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It was very reminiscent for me of the 97 SEC championship where we played Auburn and won by a point.
I believe so.
Yeah, and that Auburn could not run the ball at all. But Damian Craig tore us a new one throwing it.
Yeah.
And it was, and our secondary just got torched during that game, and we got out alive. We were very, very lucky to win that game. And it's a similar situation. It was a similar situation in Ohio State. If not for one mistake by Michael Penix, that game ends, I think, very differently. It was a pick six that was the difference. What else we got going on, Robbie?
Well, sir, I believe you had some sort of song and dance routine.
Oh yes.
Take away from that.
Let me give a little reference to this. Back in 1990 actually. Watson Brown was fired after basically 5 seasons as Vanderbilt coach, and was replaced with Jerry DiNardo, who had been the offensive coordinator at Colorado. Well, a radio station at the time in Nashville, Y107, released a parody song, and I will happily give you a brief rendering of that song. And it goes to who Vanderbilt's going to hire. One of the names that's been brought up is Jeff Fisher. Jeff, please do not take that job. Please stay home. Enjoy your temporary retirement until somebody in the NFL hires you, or the USC job opens up, and go to California.
Jeff Fisher.
I don't want Jeff Fisher.
He never played to win. He played to tie.
Well, I don't want. And Vanderbilt has said they want an offensive coach, and Jeff Fisher's not an offensive coach at all. He's hardcore defense. But I get for the new coach at Vanderbilt, I give you this. In the meadow, we can build a snowman, and we can't pretend he's Watson Brown. We'll say, can you win one? He'll say, no, man, but you can kick her butt when you're in town. Later on, he'll get fired, just like George McIntyre. And we'll sing this old song as he goes along to the Vandy Coaches Hall of Shame. They're bound for failure. It's a double-edged sword for me because I have people I love very dearly who went to Vanderbilt, but there's nothing that makes me happier than to see them disappointed at the end of a football season, it makes me a horrible, brother, son, nephew, grandchild. But I don't care. At least not in this context.
All right, let's get to our picks here, and then our item of the week, and then we'll be outie. Okay. Unfortunately, fans, I didn't have time to set up our pick. I can create a banner for you though out there in Vol Land. And it will say, I don't know, picks. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
All right, so number 1, we got Alabama and Arkansas.
Is this game at Fayetteville or Tuscaloosa?
It's in Fayetteville,
Okay.
I do believe. Alabama minus 32.5.
I mean, this has the potential to be Arkansas's bowl game.
Yeah.
I can see a 30-point road victory for almost said Vanderbilt, Auburn here, Auburn, God, Alabama here. I'm gonna pick the Hogs to cover. I see a cover here.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same way. I'm thinking it's about a.
I think it's a four touchdown, maybe even a 31, but 32.5 on the road is.
I was thinking more of a 24.
Yeah, I mean, this could potentially be Arkansas's ball game. They're gonna be fired up for this one.
I think they'll stand up.
I guess you've been giving Bama trouble until midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, and they'll turn it on. But what do I know? I picked LSU to maybe stand up to them and cover, but they sure as shit didn't.
No.
Moving on. Hi, Josie. You were right on that one.
Yeah. Although I have to say, I'm the only one that went undefeated last week. So, no singing for me on next week's pick show.
We'll have to get that figured out. We got Georgia at Mizzou. Georgia 13.
13. I see that. I really see this is not an easy game for Georgia. Tigers. I'm gonna pick Tigers cover. I think Georgia's probably gonna win, but I do not see this as a blowout. I really don't.
That is a tough one, man.
It is. I mean, I think Georgia needs this one to have any claim at anything.
Yeah,
Missouri knows that.
I think I'm with you. I'm going to take Missouri. I think it's a maybe 10-point, something like that.
I think that's probably right.
I don't think they got the 2 touchdowns.
But I think this is. I mean, like I said about the Bama game, I think Missouri gives them a fight.
Yeah,
probably the fourth quarter before JT Daniels figures out a way to pull away.
So the big game, Tennessee at Vandy. We are giving up 15 points to Vanderbilt.
Fight fastly, Vandy. Fight fastly. Had to get that in there. We are. I would like to think that we are at least part of the internet's 2 favorite tuttas. And if you don't know what a tutta is, you are not a real Vanderbilt fan. And no, I will not expand on that acronym. You can figure it out your own self.
So you think we got them by 15?
If Eric Gray has half the game, he ran for what 260 last year against Vanderbilt. It was a lot. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, he still didn't get within Chuck Webb's single game record. Chuck Webb ran for 297 against Ole Miss back in 1990, I think. That's the record. It's Chuck Webb and Johnny Jones have the top two spots on that list. So I mean, if he can run the ball, and we've been running the ball really, really well.
Yeah.
Like I said, if we can control the ball, I can see a 17-point victory.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a shot. Before we went on air, I was kind of like, I don't know. I'm gonna take us minus the 15.
Tennessee in the points.
I got no money on this game.
Right. There's no skin in it.
Just my pride.
See, that's how you know you're a smart Tennessee fan. You don't bet on the Vols.
I haven't betted on the Vols since 2001. Let me just put it to you that way. And I won a shit ton of money that day. I won about $500. And that's a shit. And that was a big bet for me.
Yeah. Tennessee -15. Good Lord. Don't bet on the Vols, kids, in case you haven't figured that out yet. You know what? We're brothers in Vols. You gonna go for them? I'm gonna go for them.
I'm saying like 34-17. I think that's probably.
I like that.
A safe score.
And if the kid can throw it, if he can make a few passes, open it up a little bit.
You know,
they got Vandy by more than 2 touchdowns.
I hinted that we would get back to it. Paxton Brooks is going to be doing all the kicking this week. Brett Samaglia has opted out. He's had a lot of stuff going on this year, both physically and mentally, which would go a long way.
If you don't know anything about his situation from the outside, it just looks like, well, this guy's a total pussy and just quit.
But he didn't. He gutted out a lot of stuff, and
I just got languaged.
Yeah, Pruitt has been overly honest about some things, and he's basically said he's been through a lot this year. And he didn't blame him at all for taking off. I mean, Brett's got some injuries going on, and just got some stuff in his personal life he's having to deal with. This is the year to take the time when it's available.
Right. This is the free gimme year. So if you're hurt, there's no sense in playing hurt. You come back next year, get right back at it.
Yep.
Moving along, we got LSU at Florida going into the swamp. Florida -23. Go ahead, sir.
Talk about pussing out, man. You throwing it to me.
Hey, I admit to that. That's fine.
Yeah, the first part of a problem is admitting there is one. The first part of solving a problem.
Right.
Florida.
Yeah, I'm all day.
I really think they've got this.
I used to believe that LSU had a spine and could stand up against it, but after what happened with Bama, I think Florida is right up there with Bama and 23 points.
And like I said, I've said this openly. I've done a full 180 turnaround on Coach O. The Rats are about to jump ship.
Yeah,
I'm really afraid of that. I mean, LSU's in trouble with the NCAA, both in basketball and football.
Yeah,
Will Wade is a dumpster fire. And I'm amazed that he still has a job at LSU.
So I too will take Florida and the 23 and watch the bloodletting take place later this afternoon.
Yes.
Finally, I've got Auburn at Mississippi State. Auburn is giving up 6.5, which is an interesting, Auburn's quarterback is Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes.
So
if Auburn can Auburn's going to probably play. They're probably going to play 5-6 defensive backs the entire game to try to stop the air raid. If if Malzahn will the best plan against the air raid is to hold the ball as long as you can and keep them off the field. But that's not Malzahn's MO. I mean, he's tempo. And
let me use my 1 or 2. Malzahn, when it comes to coaching, more often than not can be, as my brother likes to say this, like a monkey trying to fuck a football.
Yeah.
You take that home with you, Ball Nation.
Yeah.
And I think he could be a quarterback playing great. His running back could be playing great, but he could find a way to screw the pooch. But Mississippi State, I don't know, man.
We'll take. I'm gonna take Auburn in the 6.5.
I think they probably got it. If they get
I think it's at least. I think it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, if
they get their tank rolling, they for sure got it.
Yeah.
I'll go with Auburn.
They've got to be willing to eat some clock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best. The best defense against the air raid is a slow offense. It's a slow road grading offense that eats the clock. I mean, you just.
Yeah. And they are at Mississippi State, but I don't even think that matters.
No.
It's like playing at Vandy, frankly. And Vandy,
with the exception of the fact that there's nothing in Starkville. I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
Except that college.
Yeah. We've driven through Mississippi on our way to New Orleans, which I highly recommend.
Fun trip.
All right, Vol fans. You know what time it is. You know what time it is, baby. Weird item of the week. And I'm going to share my pick as soon as I can get things going here. And this one, not as much weird. It's pretty unusual.
I actually know Vols fans who probably own this.
I would own it. I would own it for sure if I had
I had to do like a double or triple take on it to make sure what it was. At first, I thought it was an ashtray, and then I looked at it and I go, "Oh no, that's."
It does look like an ashtray.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
I
mean, it's the scale. It's the scale of the picture that kind of.
Yeah. I'll say I like this weird item.
I do. It's neat. It's I have but I do know Vol fans who are great dog lovers who would definitely own something like this.
Absolutely.
So why is it is weird? It is not that out of the realm of possibility that a semi
right. It's not a Swarovski crystal covered football helmet, which I found to just be mind-boggling. Like, why would you own that? Yeah, I'd go after this.
Yep.
I could see a nice little dog in there.
Yep.
Crushing Neyland Stadium.
Yep. It'd be better if they put a picture of a blue tick coonhound in there.
I was just asked, would it be a bulldog, Brandon? Hell no.
Well, not an English bulldog. Maybe a French bulldog.
Maybe a Frenchie. All right. And that's it as far as I'm concerned.
That wraps us up for this week. Once again, happy holidays. We hope to be having our first annual.
We got something big coming up, people.
Christmas holiday spectacular. Like us, subscribe, comment. Let us know if we suck.
Love us or hate us.
If you love us, remember, we want to be the most beloved tutus in this realm of the internet. So feel free to let us know if we're effectively doing our job, and let's go out there and Let's go out there and make Vanderbilt look like the chumps that we know that they are.
Absolutely. For Wiley the Genius, I'm young Brandon. Everybody be safe out there. Happy holidays.
Catch y'all on the flip side.
Peace out. There it is.
Go Vols.
Go Vols.